Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am absolutely loving the gold foil trends and the butterflies that I've been seeing on nails everywhere, so I put them together in a set for you guys today, and I will be using mostly products by GERSHION for this set. So this was the previous set that I had on. If you guys didn't see that, I will have it linked in the iCards above. Basically, I just wanted to show you how good it was still looking after 3 weeks of growth. No lifting, nothing like that. It was still doing great. So I did fully remove that and left just a very thin layer of product on my natural nails just to protect them. And then we'll go into application. I did not show the removal or prep process because I do have a video showing exactly that, so I will have that linked above as well for you guys. Really quick, I just want to remind you guys to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss out when I upload a video. And once you're subscribed, you can be part of my polished pride. So this is the kit by GERSHION that they sent over. This is their new blue Polygel kit. It comes with all the standards that they always have. So you got your brush, your file, your dual forms, base and top coat, and then 3 beautiful shades. So this one is white. Then we've got this one, and it's like a mint color. This will be the color that I use in the set today. And this one is more like a sky or periwinkle blue. So pretty. I'm definitely wanting to use that in a set as well because I love that shade. So I just swatched those out for you guys, and then I am applying my YoungNails Protein Bond on my nails. Then we'll go in with the base coat before starting in the application process. On the ball like BB, don't make no mistakes. Got the faith, the 18 just not gonna be the same. Finna be down generations, not gonna be in vain. Too young, why you gotta go, why you gotta go? I just wanna know now. True now, cry and get no, hope you free your soul, I might have caught the June blues. Yeah, I wanna drown myself inside the juice. Yeah, you know I keep on running from the truth. So when I do base coat, I remove almost all of the product off of the brush, and then I use a scrubbing motion where I kind of push it back and forth, or I kind of wiggle it side to side a little bit as I apply it to the nail. It's mostly important to do that on the natural nail, but because these nails already had that thin amount of product on it, I just did a little bit of that scrubbing in the back where the growth had been, and then just following through and just lightly applying the product to the rest of the nail. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about the features. You'll find the beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. You see her walking down the boulevard. She got the posture of a superstar. She looks so fly in those Gucci slides. Yeah. So I'm going to give that a cure for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to put on my paper forms and begin the application process. This is a new setup for me, guys, so let me know what you think of these camera angles. I think that it's a much better angle than the straight overhead, but let me know what you guys think. So on this nail, I'm starting by using some clear polygel, also by GERSHION, and I will have it linked in the description box along with everything that I use in the video today. But I'm just basically starting by building my free edge. It's honestly like applying a tip, but instead of applying a tip, you're building a tip. So I did apply way too much of this clear at first, so I am going to cut some of it off because this needs to be a super thin base in order for you to not have nails that are super bulky. So I just use the spatula on the other end of my polygel brush and I cut about half of that off. Then I'm going to continue to press and stretch the product down the nail form to the desired length. You'll notice every time I go off screen, that's when I am re-wetting my brush with some alcohol. And I do use 50 to 70% alcohol. And then I dab off my brush onto my little paper towel before going onto the polygel. It's kind of like a fine line type of balance. You don't want it to be too wet, but you also can't have it too dry, and it's something that you'll get a feel for the more that you work with the products. So I'm going to cure that for 15 seconds, and then I've got my pinching clip that I apply, and I always make sure that it is nice and straight. That's why I'm looking from different angles, and you can see basically the very similar angle to what I was seeing in person. So once I applied the pinching clip, I finished with the 45-second cure, removed my paper form, and now we're going to go in with the mint color. I always start by applying the bulk of the product kind of right in the center of my natural nail. Then I go back in the cuticle area and start tucking it really close to the cuticle without touching, and also smoothing that out so that there's no kind of ridge where it transitions to the natural nail. You want it to transition absolutely smoothly. Now this was also too much product because I kind of changed my mind and decided that I wanted to leave the tip clear. So in a moment here I am gonna just use the spatula to cut off about half of this as well. Then I will continue to pull the product down and get a nice fade into the clear tip.
Saying that you had a better chance without me, that you wish you had made plans without me. Look, I hate to make this song about me, but I really wanna tell you that I still get goosebumps whenever you call. When I pull up to your house in my car, when we kiss you make me sound the alarm. When we kiss that thing go ring, ring, ring. Still get goosebumps whenever you call. When I pull up to your house in my car, when we kiss you make me sound the alarm.
So I like how that's looking, so I finished curing that. And then the tip is still not thick enough at this point to have enough strength and structure. So I just went back in with some more of the clear polygel, and I'm covering basically in that front tip area where it was far too thin. Then I will kind of pull it back and fade it into that mint color. I'm starting where my apex is built and pulling it down from that point. I want the polygel to blend perfectly into the apex and then taper down to the tip. That way when I go in with my file and do my shaping and filing in the end, it'll cut back on a lot of the time since the nail is already shaped in the proper way. So I'm going to do my pointer finger. This one's just going to be an entirely mint nail, and I'm going to do it the same as I did before, starting by building that tip. Once the tip is built, I cure it for 15 seconds, put on the pinching clip, and finish curing. Then I will go in with a larger bead and cover the entire nail, including the tip that I have built.
Never been the type for giving up. Complicated situations only make it worse, cause just getting started is not enough. I'll be around when you need me, promise there won't be no leave. Even on my worst days, 2 a.m. a shift face, tripping off something that you done, yeah. I would never listen my what comes and run out on you. I know we got problems, but I would never walk out on you.
One thing about this polygel, this green one, it is super soft and very sticky. So you do need a bit more alcohol on your brush than you normally would. And you just have to be very aware of when you start to feel it having any kind of stickiness. Once you feel that, go ahead and wipe your brush off and then re-wet it with alcohol, because if you continue, it's just going to make the product stick to your brush even more, and you're going to end up messing up all of your work. So it's better to just go in with more alcohol and clean off your brush more often rather than trying to push through it and continue working, because you're going to end up costing yourself more time doing it that way. So for this nail and the ring finger, it's going to be exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you this one. I'm starting by building the free edge with that mint shade, and then I will pinch that after partially curing as well, and then we'll come back in with that peachy orange nail bed color.
They say a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts. So baby, what are you saying? Gotta tell me one thing. When you take them shots, but the next day you're just playing. Now baby, I don't need my time wasted. If you don't want me, then just say yes. Instead of calling up my phone when you've been drinking all night long. You're gonna act like you ain't saying. You're gonna act like it's a lie. You tryna play.
So this color is from one of the other GERSHION sets as well, and again, it'll be linked in the description box, but this formula in particular is my very favorite. It is so easy to work with. So what I did was I squeezed out a little bit onto my nail bed, and then I'm just brushing it onto the surface where I want the product to go when I squeeze more on. This is the slip layer. It's going to tell the gel where it needs to go. So then without curing that slip layer, I'm now applying more products onto the areas where I want it to go, and then I will use my brush to gently tap and move the product where it needs to be. I will go in with a second layer after this as well. I just find with a thinner consistency with this, it's easier to go in with 2 layers rather than try to put it all in one and end up flooding your sidewalls or cuticle. The nice thing about this formula is that, yes, it is very thin, and so it's very easy to work with, but somehow it stays in place while you're working. It doesn't flood my cuticle and sidewalls unless I put on like a larger layer. But if I keep the layers kind of like a medium thickness, the way that it is here, it just stays until I move it. It's the craziest formula, and I absolutely love it. So I had that cured as well, and now I'm just using the leftover product from my brush and doing the slip layer once again. And I'm just going to squeeze some out. I like to use the tip of this bottle to guide the product exactly where I need it to be. The bottle tip is so skinny, so you really can place it exactly where it needs to be. And right there I was swirling my bottle tip because there was an air bubble. And then you'll notice coming up in just a moment, I will be using my brush, and you'll see me kind of swirling my brush a little bit, like right there. It's because this gel does have parts of it where it seems like it kind of separated from the pigment and ends up leaving like a little clear spot. So in order to fix that, if you just swirl your brush, it mixes it back up. So I'm just going to continue to move the product where I need it to be. On my sidewalls, I am very lightly tapping where I want the product to go. And then here towards the front of that color, I am just kind of lightly tapping, but also like kind of feathering. I hope you can see better what I'm doing rather than me trying to explain it, because it's not easy to explain exactly what I'm trying to do. But with an ombre like I wanted to do here, you're not going to be able to get a flawless ombre just by doing it in one step like this. So I am going to fully cure this, and then I'll go back in with the mint and feather that up on top of that peachy orange. So this ombre you're not really going to see in the end, because I do end up covering it with the gold leaf, but I was not sure that I was going to be putting the gold leaf on all of the nails, and I wasn't sure exactly where it was going to be placed. So really it wasn't necessary for me to get a perfect blend, but to me it's still an important step just because you never know. But of course, with any nail art, if there's something you don't like, just cover it up. Not that I didn't like this. I did like the blend, but yeah, if you don't like it, cover it up. So again, I will cure that for 60 seconds, and then with an ombre, it's important to cap it in clear. That way, when you go in with your filing, you're not going to file off that blend. If I didn't
put this clear on to protect that blend, then it would come off in the filing process. Now there is too much product on here, which I will pull off and cut off at the end, but I'm just making sure that there's a nice thin layer of this clear to protect right where those colors meet. And then I just pull it all the way down to the free edge. It's just easier and gives a more seamless application, makes the filing process easier. So like I said, there was too much product, so I'm just going to cut it off. What I do is I just pull all the excess product down past the free edge, and then I just push it downward, and then I just scoop it right off. And then you can go in and smooth everything back down and go in with the final cure. Now this pinky one is that fully going to be that peachy orange shade, and the very first part of it, my fault, I was out of frame for it. But it's going to be just like all the rest of the nails, creating the tip first. I will cure, pinch, and finish curing. Then I'll go in with my second layer to finish the shaping and building of the nail.
I was kissing you with my eyes open, but you said keep them closed and be in the moment. So I did my best to make you feel wanted. But what about what I want? What about what I want? And what I wanted was to crash with my dumb friends on the weekend instead of watching a movie. But you wanted me to be what you need instead of being me. Oh, and that's how I knew it. I guess I never loved you like I love me. I guess I never loved you, and that's okay with me. 'Cause someday I'll love someone like I love me. Might have to wait a little, and that's okay with me. Okay, 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 okay with me. Okay, 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 I would tell you everything I believed in, but you said shut it off, you're too old for dreaming. So I did my best to feel what you're feeling. But what about what I want? What about what I want? 'Cause what I wanted was to laugh at the way you laugh at the way I laugh, but instead you were moody, and you wanted me to be.
So I'm going to do one final 60-second cure. This is what the nails looked like before I had shaped and finished filed them, lumpy and bumpy. And this is how they looked after shaping and filing. And that just goes to show you guys, like I always tell you, it is all about the filing. If you know how to file well, you can bring anything back from any point. So, okay, so we're gonna go in with the nail art. I'm going to coat all of the nails with this Model 1's foil glue gel. It is my favorite for transfer foils, but I'm not actually using transfer foils today. I'm going to be using some decals and some gold leaf, and using this nail foil glue gel. Sorry, that's a mouthful. Nail foil glue gel. I coat it on all of the nails, give it a 60-second cure, and then I wait 1 minute for it to get nice and tacky. If you don't wait a minute after curing, it can end up being kind of gummy, and sometimes it doesn't adhere well with the other products. So I let it sit for a minute, and then we'll go in and start with the decals and gold leaf. So I did get a little on the skin, just like any product. You want to make sure that is removed before curing. So now I'm going to go in and cut out my little butterfly decals. I do like to cut as close to the design edges as possible. To me, having less of that surface area allows the decal to stick better onto your nail and gives it better retention so that it's not going to start poking up so much. When I have not cut close enough to decals, I did get some lifting, so cut it close and you'll be good. So once I get those all trimmed off, I am going to remove the plastic from the top. And I know all the instructions with all these decals say to remove the plastic from the top before selecting your decal and cutting it off, but I don't like to do that, only because then you got to try to put it back on and protect the decals. So I just remove them one by one after they've been cut out. And I'm just putting that in some water. I dab off the water from the back a little and then slide off that paper backing. And I'm going to apply this right on top of my foil glue gel. And you guys will see how well these stick down because of that glue. It really makes it like so easy. But you got to make sure your placement's right before you put it down, because once it's down, it's not going anywhere. It slid when I very first put it down there a moment ago. That's only because I didn't dab off enough of the water. So the water kind of repelled from the glue gel. But with the other ones, you'll see once they're down, they are down. I decided with the butterflies, I wanted them to complement the colors that were already in the nails. So I went with the like light greens and pinks. But if I would have gone with the green butterflies on the green nail, you wouldn't have been able to see them. So I did opposite. I did the pink and peachy one on the green nails, and then the green butterflies on the peachy orange nails. I like to put my decals kind of off the edge of the nail rather than just being dead center. I think it gives it a little bit more interest. So you just want to make sure you cut off any excess and just make sure that is nicely removed. And also when you top coat on top of decals like this, you definitely want to cap under the side walls and the free edge just to make sure everything is sealed in nicely. So we're going to go and do the same exact thing with the green butterflies. Okay, last nail art step. I've got this gold foil leaf little bits, and I'm using this silicone tool that has a dotting tool on the other end. So these gold foil pieces are really easy to work with, but you got to be careful because if you breathe too hard, they will go flying. They're also a little bit harder to work with because if you have like an eyeshadow applicator, it almost picks up too much. So a silicone tool like this is perfect because it picks up very tiny bits, and also because the tip of it is flexible, I'm able to push the flakes down onto the nail and also use it to kind of break them up and make it exactly what I want it to be. So try out one of those if you've been having problems with gold leaf, and I bet you that you will not have any more problems. So I'm going to apply that around all of my butterflies, and then I will apply them on the other nails as well in the shape that I think complements the design.
Chocolate factory. chicks coming at me, but none of these girls get better. Young Paris, make some times we'll cherish. Baby, that no comparing to you. Aisha, Karen, don't want Megan, Sharon. Girl, I swear that it ain't fair. All the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. No, they got nothing on you. They got nothing. All the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. They got nothing on you. Girl, you know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. You know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. You know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. Yeah. Girl, you know you cute. Girl, you know you cute.
I broke a few hearts or two, a couple too many times. I let good things go up in flames, they blow up like dynamite. If I'm being honest, no, I got a problem. No one made me wanna change. Then there was you, it feels so new. I just wanna get this right. No, I'm not a role model. Nothing ever seems to last.
Okay, so that is all applied, so I'm just taking a fluffy brush and brushing off the nails just to make sure there's no excess gold leaf attached still. And then we will go in with some top coat. This is a top coat that came in the kit. And then I'm going to use a matte top coat on the nails that have the butterflies. For the thumbnail, after I have given a flash cure to the top, I'm going to put a very thin amount on the underneath side just because of that clear tip. It's not like a glass clear because I did allow that green to kind of fade out to the tip and make it almost milky looking, but there are still a couple clear spots and I wanted it to just look bright. So I chose to use the top coat on the underside as well, just to make sure that if there were any completely clear spots, you could actually see through them. Now, like I said, for my butterfly nails, I am going to do a matte top coat, but I want to seal everything in. When I use decals or anything like that, I like to do 2 layers of top coat. However, I don't like using matte top coat twice. So I just go in with my regular top coat, and then once that's been cured, we'll go in with the matte top coat. It will still mattify it even though you've already put on a regular top coat, but it's just really going to help everything make sure it is sealed down very well. So this is my very favorite matte top coat by Not Polish. And I'm just going to put that on top of the 2 butterfly nails. We'll give that a cure, cuticle oil, and we'll be done. So I'm just going to rub that in and we are all set, guys. Definitely want to hear what you guys think about these nails. I I know I say a lot that I love the designs I come up with, but these ones, I'm going to have a hard time taking them off or covering them up because I absolutely love how they turned out. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you liked about them, if you didn't like them, and which of them was your favorite. I think mine is the pointer nail, the little green with the pink butterflies. Super cute. Of course, if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or requests for different sets, let me know down below. I love to hear from you guys. Be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.